Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. I'm here with you today for a small talk top 10 list. And on today's top 10 list, I'm going to be giving you a top 10 Grusilda Monster Masher creature combinations. So, about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks now, I put up a deck tech with Grusilda Monster Masher before the Commander Committee actually stated that until sometime in January, the silver border cards are going to be allowed to be played in EDH, and good thing they did because you could just run that deck now with no issues. But even after that, if your play group allows it, you can run that deck, and it's pretty affordable. It looks like a lot of fun and not too entirely broken. Could be broken, but maybe not too entirely broken. It really depends on your meta. And anyways, I wanted to retouch on that deck, but not go over any kind of teching or changing cards in that deck. Just simply the top 10 list of cards I would want to see used with Griselda's abilities on the battlefield. And these are just fun things. So as a reminder, you could pay 3, a black and a red, and tap Griselda and put 2 target creature cards from graveyards onto the battlefield combined into 1 creature under your control. Some of these I have no idea how you're going to get them because you're a black-red deck, but I don't even know if people play these, but just fun cards here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. And first up, we have what I'm calling Platinum Persecutor. Now, this would be the whole title of the card name if it was combined together, but we'll just go with Platinum Persecutor, which is a flying trample. You can't win the game, and your opponents can't lose the game. You can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. It's a 10-10. So, yeah, pretty much until this thing is not on the battlefield anymore, you're just going to be getting in for 10 flying trample because nobody can win and nobody can lose. It's kind of a silly way to start it out, but hey, why not? It's unstable. Next up, we have Carnage Tyrant Felidar Sovereign. So this is a reason why I just went with the shorter name, but technically this is the full name here. So Carnage Tyrant Felidar Sovereign cannot be countered. It has Trample, Hexproof, Vigilance, and Lifelink. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. So if Carnage Tyrant's out, your opponents won't be able to target it. And whenever you use the ability, that ability can't be countered with anything except for like a stifle or a disallow or something. But even then, I don't think it can be countered. I'm not really sure, but who cares? It's a fun card that has hexproof and it lets you win the game if you have 40 or more life on your upkeep. So a cool little card there. It's 11-12 too, so that's nothing to scoff at. Next up, we have Leveler Maniac. So Leveler Maniac, it would be a artifact creature, human wizard, that says if you would draw a card with no cards in your library, you win the game. That's Laboratory Maniac's ability. Leveler Maniac's ability when you use the Griselda ability, but it also says whenever Leveler Maniac comes into play, remove your library from the game. So if you can get this on with Griselda Monster Masher and somehow draw a card, you would just win. Next up, we have Iona Void. This takes Iona, Shield of Vermilion, and Void Winnower, and this is not actually 1 mana and 5 mana. It's 15 mana, but the card Smith doesn't have a 15 mana symbol, so it's a legendary creature, Angel Eldrazi, with flying, and it says whenever as Iona Void enters the battlefield, choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. Your opponents can't cast spells with even converted mana cost, and your opponents can't block with creatures with even converted mana cost. So it's also 18-16, which is absurd. But maybe that's not the most absurd part of the card. But anyways, if you thought Void Winnower was a can't even card, this is can't even. And moving on here, we have Bloodshot Elemental. This is a going to be a 9 red, 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 red infinity power with 9 toughness that says tap, sacrifice a creature. In this case, you're going to want to sacrifice Bloodshot Elemental. And Bloodshot Elemental deals damage equal to sacrifice creature's power to target creature or player. So this is essentially once it is not affected by summoning sickness, you could tap it and sack it to deal infinite damage to a player. silly stuff here. Moving on, we have Circle of Pala, which is flying vigilance, and it says formidable. So if you have total power 8 or greater with creatures that you control, you could tap it to add 3 mana to your mana pool, and you could use 2 mana and untap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So you could tap it for 3 mana, have 1 mana netted, use the other 2 mana to untap it to add 1 mana, which gives you 1 mana and tap it for 3. You see where we're going here? This is basically just a infinite mana card. Moving on, we have infinite draw card. So this is Lesser Archivist, which says tap to draw a card. Lesser Archivist doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever a player draws a card, if Lesser Archivist is untapped, tap it, otherwise untap Lesser Archivist. So this basically says tap to draw a card, and then when you draw a card, untap it. So tap it to draw a card and untap it, and tap it to draw a card and untap it, and tap it to draw a card. Kind of a silly little infinite combo for drawing cards. Sticking with the theme of infinite combo-ness, now we have infinite mana again with Channeler Medic. When Channeler Medic enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. You're going to want to put that on this creature. Then you could tap to remove a -1/-1 counter to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. You can also tap to prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn, but who cares? Put a -1/-1 counter on Channeler Medic. Untap Channeler Medic. So this just says tap, remove a counter, add a mana. Put a counter, untap, so you have infinite mana. Also a 3/8. Next up we have Fathoms Skulker. Fathoms Skulker has evolved, and it says whenever a +1/+1 counter is placed on Fathoms Skulker, you may draw a card. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 on Fathoms Skulker. Whenever Fathoms Skulker dies, put X/1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk onto the battlefield, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Fathoms Skulker. So this takes a couple of my I enjoy them a lot cards in Fathom Mage and Chasm Skulker. So pretty much this card's a 2/2. So as soon as it gets a 1/1 counter placed on it, you can draw as many cards as you want to, and put as many counters on it as you do draw those cards. And then when it dies, you'll get a bunch of 1/1 squids with Island Walk. So just fun to draw cards and put counters and then get creatures afterwards for it. You will have to evolve it somehow by getting another creature or doing something like that, but you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Next up is Deathbringer Renegade. So chun them out. We got a Death Touch zombie beast elf warrior here that says whenever another creature dies, you may put a 1/1 counter on Deathbringer Renegade. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Deathbringer Renegade. Deathbringer Renegade deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Also has Revolt, so Deathbringer Renegade comes in with a 1/1 counter already if you had a permanent leave the battlefield. So you're going to want to crack an Evolving Wilds or do something like that to make sure that you get Revolt so that it comes in with a 1/1 counter, because once it does, you remove that 1/1 counter to deal 1 damage to a creature, and because you have Death Touch and Deathbringer Renegade does that damage, that creature is going to die. And when that creature dies, you're going to put a counter on Deathbringer Renegade, so you can just keep doing that over and over and over again. So Grusilda Monster Masher will essentially say, if a permanent left the battlefield this turn, put a creature onto the battlefield that destroys all other creatures on the battlefield that you want. Pretty silly. Alright. Alright, and that's Grusilda Monster Masher, and the top 10 combinations of cards that I want to see combined into one creature under your control. So if you want to make your own cards and see what those look like, head on over to mtgcardsmith.com and throw some things together, and feel free to share them below. And thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope you're getting ready for some crazy unstable times this weekend and moving on until January 31st at least in Commander. So, alright, thanks, and we'll see you next time.